G'day guys, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to show you lawyer SEO or how to do law firm SEO. Let's jump into it. So as you can see behind me, I have this massive lawyer SEO checklist. It's massive. Now you have access to all of the hours it took to create this checklist for free. You have access to it down below. There'll be a link up above, to the left, to the right, wherever YouTube's displaying them at the point in time that you watch this video. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to utilize a target keyword and we're going to look at a law firm that's performing quite poorly in the SERPs, so performing poorly in the maps and organically, because I want to show you how to rank a law firm in the maps and in the SERP, in the organic SERP, because I think that's very, very valuable. You want to be able to kill two birds with one stone whenever you're doing lawyer SEO. So we're going to need this checklist. So on here, you can see a ton of stuff. So basically it's just ticking it off. That's why it's a checklist. So as we move through and progress, you can close off each items, and don't worry, every single thing will be covered in detail. So there's just a ton of tabs down here, guys, that you can see. This is the lawyer SEO checklist. This is what we will work through today to rank the law firm. But what I want to do now is I want to show you the actual target keywords that we will be going after today. So let's jump into that. Okay, so for this lawyer, what we are going to be doing is we're going to utilize the keyword business lawyer New York. Now I have gone ahead and picked out these guys. So what is it? Benny Merto Law. So these guys are performing quite poorly. I believe it was Google. So in the maps, they're way down the bottom, and I don't actually think, they didn't appear at all in the SERP. So guys, I have my Google to display 100 results and they're not even appearing. So that's not too good. And that's specifically why I want to use these individuals, because the chances are if you sign up a law firm for SEO or you own a law firm yourself, you're going to be in this position. You're going to be performing quite poorly. So you don't do SEO when you're sitting up. Well, you do, but it's a different style when you're sitting in position one here and position one here. It's completely different on how you would approach it if you're not even appearing. So I want to show you how to rank this law firm. So I want to show you the tips and tricks that we're going to utilize. So that's a target keyword. So what you do is in this lawyer SEO checklist, you would just simply place the target keyword in there, right there. Now, when it comes to however you do your campaign, obviously a law firm is going to have a ton of different keywords. It's not only business lawyer New York that you would want to go after. As an example, like these guys, like they have, look at all this other stuff they want to go after: real estate law, immigration law, securities, so anything around equities and all of this, share agreements, all of that. They want to cover all of that too, guys. Now, obviously the main focus and most profitable keywords for them is what they would give you, or if you own the law firm, that's what you would be going after. So I'm not going to do all of that because this video will take us about 6 hours long. When we onboard clients and we do this process, it takes us a day because we have to go through and properly vet each individual and all of your competitors. So we're only going to be focusing on this target keyword right here. However, the next step, what we need to do now is we need to actually perform a quick overview of the lawyer's domain. So we want to ascertain the information that's got it in its position right now. Let's do that. All right, so to actually analyze the law firm's website domain, what we need to do is we need to grab the domain, obviously, and we need to throw it into something like SEMrush. Now, I love SEMrush. You can use whatever tools you want to use. It's entirely up to you guys. ShineRanker, if you're just starting out in SEO, ShineRanker might be the tool for you. I'll leave a link to that as well. Wow, this is interesting. They keep getting smashed by every update. Okay, that's very interesting, guys. Like, there's a lot of stagnation. Something that I always say about stagnation is that this basically Google tells you what's going on. Where you're sitting is a representation, a direct representation of how much they trust you and or like you. So these guys are just stagnating under 100 keywords, which is not great. So that's been their performance. Now, I'm not working with, or I've got nothing to do with this law firm, guys. This is just a random that I grabbed out. Like, I have not been asked or anything to go and utilize these people, just FYI. But having a look at this, that tells me, yeah, they're not trusted by Google, and having a quick look at the website, I know why. But what we want to do is we want to review the domain. So we've got the domain. We want to have a look at the authority score, just a quick look, just to figure out what our strength is against our competitors, how many backlinks we have, and how many keywords we have. So right now we have 81 backlinks. We have 81 keywords, 214 backlinks. So let's go and input that information on our checklist up here, guys. So this is what we want to do. So we want to put the domain in here, and this becomes vitally important later on, guys. So 81 keywords, total backlinks was 214, total citations we'll get to later, but let's go down, and 15 authority score. Now, guys, doesn't matter whatever you're using, you can input this data here, whether you're utilizing DR or D8, whatever, you can put whatever you want in there. I'm using SEMrush, so that's why we use it. I love SEMrush. I think it's a great tool. All right, so we want to grab the business name and ensure that it is the appropriate name. I normally scroll down to the bottom into the footer, and you'll normally find where the copyright is, they'll have the actual official name. Now, the reason you do this is because they might have their name slightly different, and they might have it abbreviated. And the reason we want to know this, and you would know this if this was your law firm that you were doing, but I don't. And I'm doing this because I'm trying to figure out this information when I'm trying to ID these citations later on. So right now, what we want to do, once we've done that, you've input the data there. You can basically say, I've done a quick review if you want. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we need to identify the keywords that this website is ranking for. So let's do that. All right, so to ID the ranking keywords, all you'll need to do is come back over to SEMrush, see this tab right here, organic keywords, or it will be in the left-hand column. You can click on the organic research or the keyword overview. So you can click on view details right here. Now, this is going to give us a list of keywords that this law firm is ranking for in the eyes of SEMrush. Okay, so this is where we can ascertain what they're ranking for. New York startup lawyer. Okay, they're in position 10. That's actually not too bad. So perhaps they've structured their site around that. Wow. Okay. There's some good keywords in there. Not a lot of volume on that, but it's not too bad. At least they're ranking, start of the second page. So we can export this data. Now I'm going to export it via CSV, and we can upload this information to our checklist. So whenever you're uploading any information, you're pulling down any information, it's all to be put on this checklist. So you'll look at this tab right here, the Lawyer SEO tab, click on keyword research, and now we can scroll back up to the top. You'll notice this tab up here. So let's open that CSV and let's paste in the information. So let's grab this, let's get rid of that tab. Now you can grab the cost per click if you want, or you don't. It's entirely up to you guys. I have grabbed the cost per click, so that's going to appear in the next column over, but let's just beautify this a little bit. So you have the cost per click, which basically tells you the more expensive it is, the more someone's trying to go after this keyword. So, let me just show you a perfect example. So this one here is, I need to raise money for a lawyer. That's more so, it's going to be informational based. 30 searches on average a month. However, if you look at Startup Lawyer NYC, well, there's 50, it's not far from 30, but it's $14. So it's a lot more expensive to rank for that keyword than it is, because that's possibly transactional. Someone's looking for a startup attorney, lawyer, to help them with setting up their business. So that's why that's more expensive. Keyword, this stuff over here, the cost per click, can be insightful when you're going away and identifying which keywords more appropriate for the campaign. Okay, so now we've identified the keywords recognized for this law firm's website. What we want to do now is we want to actually review their Google business profile. So let's jump into that. All right, guys, so this is the main thing that you want to be looking at when you are trying to rank in the Google Maps like this. When you're trying to achieve this, you need to go away and do auditing. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top competitors, add, ignoring all of them, and we're coming straight to the top organic results. So these guys here. So what I like to do is I like to copy the top competitors, come back over, and here you'll see competitor. You just input that name there. Now, the reason I do this before I go ahead, like I do one and then move on to the next one, is because if you zoom in, zoom out, well, you'll change the results. You'll drastically change the results. So you want to make sure that the generic SERP that's being displayed is what you go after. Remember, you're targeting what Google's displaying. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. All right, so let's do this. You're going to need two tools. You're going to need the GMB everywhere. So it's a Chrome extension up here. It's like 5 free things, guys. And you need Plepper over here, guys. So this is the extension just behind my head. So let me just get out of the way. So that's it right there, guys. So you'll need both of these. Now, we want to click on the main one. And what we want to do is we want to start to ascertain a couple of things. The main thing is categories. So they've got 5 categories in total, as you can see over here. Now we want to copy these, come back over. And as you can see here, categories. So we want to paste that in, and then we want to put in that they have 5 of them. Okay, because what we're building is averages. Now, when you do this, I'm only looking at the top 2 because, again, guys, this is going to be an 1.5 hour long video. That's with 2 competitors and a basic overview. If you're serious about your SEO, you would be looking at least 3 competitors and then going into further details for each keyword. So that's why it takes a long time. I'm trying to cut this down and show you the simplified version of it, but it'll still get you results. So average rating, total reviews. So we can grab this, move it along a little bit. So remember, I'm just in the GBP Audit tab, so in the Lawyer SEO checklist. So average rating, total reviews. Let's go back over and check them out. Average rating 4.9, 232 reviews. 4.9, 232 reviews. Sorry guys, I feel like my voice is going. So that's going to be a fun one. Get some water. All right. The next thing that we want to look at is you have total posts and total images. Now we want to skip the total post. We'll come back to that, but the total images is what we want to look at for now. I believe it was 32. Now this is right behind me. So as you can see, it's here. So on Plepper, this is where I'm getting that information from about this law firm. So 32 images. I'm over here, 32 images. Next thing I want to look at is the Q&A. So let's do that. Let's go back here, Q&A. Do they have any questions and answers asked? Yes, there's 3 of them. Now, guys, you would look specifically at their Q&As. You will look specifically at their reviews. You will tear them apart to draw up a bit of a picture of words and entities that are being consistently mentioned, okay? So whilst I'm just getting the number now, we actually go through and have a look and scrape it and see what's being mentioned frequently. So we can start to build up a little bit of velocity. So a term velocity. So you can do exactly the same thing. However, if on average there's like very minimal Q&As, then we don't worry about it. Now, products, services. Google is being a little bit funny and not always showing you the products and services. They're only doing it via mobile. So what I have to do now is I'm going to send this across to my phone, guys, and check it out. But what you can do is the same thing, or you can change this to a mobile version. I'm not going to do that, guys, because that's not what this video is about, and it's to be honest, it's a nightmare to try and film on it. But as you can see, I've got them up on my phone. So what I'm doing now is I'm going across to their services. So I want to see if they've got any products, like in the checklist, if they've got any products or services. Okay, so let's have a look for the products first. I cannot see any products. So zilch, nothing. Services. How many services do these guys have? Okay, they have, whoa, they have so many, it's insane. Wow. So when I look at it, like, this would be well over 100. I would say it's at least 65ish. Now, guys, you do need to count this. Okay, this is just a lawyer SEO tutorial on how to do law firm SEO. So I'm just showing you what to do. There's probably more services. There'd be a specific number, just FYI. So 65. Now, when it comes to the services, some of their stuff, they have content written. You need to go away and actually look and, again, analyze that content to see what your competitors are talking about. So we've used Plepper to this point, and obviously my mobile phone. But what we need to do now is we need to use GMB everywhere. So we can either scroll up here, and I find sometimes, guys, Google's been releasing updates like anything. So they're helpful content update. So things have been a little bit funny. But let's do the post audit. So I'm clicking post audit because what it's doing is it's going to analyze this and see how many times they're posting, how frequently, how many they have. It does max out at 30 though, but it will show us. Now, obviously there's definitely posts. So if it comes up with the error saying, no post, we know that's not true. So yeah, guys, this has been happening a lot lately just because of the updates. Well, I personally believe. But I do find that it is the best tool to scrape posts, and you can use other tools, but you've got to basically set everything up, and it's just more painful. But if you find that these tools are not working, that's what you have to do. Okay, so yeah, it's maxed out at 30, so we would put in 30, but the main thing we're looking at, guys, is look at this post frequency. They're posting every 12 days. Okay, cool bananas. So we go back over here, we go total number of posts. We just put in 30, that's where it maxed out at, but the post frequency over here, we put at 12. So behind my head, we put at 12. Now, as we start to put in the info from Cohen, let me close down these tabs. Apologize about my throat, guys, but that's how it is. All right, so like this guy's doing really well. 23 reviews. He's sitting up there. He's doing something right. So this is why it's important to analyze. And as you can see, like, whoever's putting in these reviews knows how to target specifically. So I'd be looking into these reviews and checking that information out. But yeah, this is very interesting. So what we want to do, same thing, guys, exactly the same thing. We want to grab his categories. He's got 6 of them. Grab his categories, 6 over here, 6 of them. Now, average rating and total reviews. So I can't remember what I think. Yeah, and there are 23 reviews, and I think it was 5. Yes, 5. Yep. Now, this is very interesting that this profile is sitting right up the top. So this is someone that I would try and emulate, definitely, because whatever they're doing is working. So they only have 6 images as well. Okay, so this is right behind me, guys. Plepper, that's where you get the images from. 6. But as you can start to see now, guys, see how this green, like essentially this green line, this row right here is an average. So what it can do is, obviously, I'm only using 2 people. I know I've had some people reach out to me and say, Ryan, it's hard to statistically receive an average and utilize that off 2 people. I know, guys. I understand. I'm just doing this as a tutorial to you for how to do lawyer SEO. Obviously, when you get more numbers in there, more competitors, the averages will become more appropriate. You can utilize the mean and then discard outliers. That's how I approach it. But just for the purpose of this lawyer SEO video, I'm only using 2. Just cuts down on the time, guys. But you get the picture. So we're starting to build up averages. How many Q&As does this guy have? Zilch. Okay, that's interesting. Now, products and services, same thing, guys. I'll have to send it to my phone, most likely. Can't see any products or services. I just see really, really specific reviews. Very interesting. Okay, guys, so I'm just bringing him up on my phone right now, having a look. So I'll see if he's got any products. Nope. Let me have a look at the services. Not many services at all. So it's 12 services. And 0 here. Very, very interesting. Let me just double check that he's posting. Doesn't look, might not even be posting either, guys. Fascinating. So this is someone that I would try and emulate. This is definitely someone that I would, whatever they're doing is working quite well. So I would go and check them out, that's for sure. Okay, so we've got review audit and we've got the post audit right here. Now, what I would do specifically for this individual is I would be using that review audit tab, because I'm telling you right now, there's some funky stuff going on there. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying it's looks out of the ordinary. So whatever they're doing is helping them get higher up the top. So what I would be doing is checking out what's going on with this review audit. But that's what I would do. So right now we're having a look to see if there's any posts. It doesn't look like that there actually is. So what we can do is come back to 0 and 0. So it drastically pulls it apart. And like I said, guys, you're going to have outliers. Normally to sit up the top for, business lawyer, New York, you'd have to be posting. You'd have to be consistent. Now, is what they're doing right? This is obviously, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I haven't looked too much into this. But if you see this type of stuff, generally, anyone can win with black hat SEO tactics. It's very easy to do. It's easy. It's super, super easy to do. But the problem is the client always gets hurt. So it'll be interesting to check back, like we're filming this in September, start of September. Check back in 3 months' time to see what's going on. If that client's number 3. So that's something that I would be looking at. But once we've done all of this, guys, what we do is we now have the averages. Okay. Now we do exactly the same thing for our own profile. So we go through, we've done this basically. Now we do a grid search. So what is a grid search? Let me just get rid of this. We need to go to our lawyers. We need to grab the name. We come across to this thing called Local Falcon. Now, Local Falcon is essentially a tool that looks at a tool via a grid mapping process. So let's just say you are standing somewhere in Manhattan, upper or lower side of Manhattan. You're in a different location. I'm Florida, guys, so yeah, different location for me. But what it does is, let's just say you were over here in Liberty State Park. So someone's standing in Liberty State Park and they Google our target keyword. So if we grab our target keyword right here, business lawyer, New York, we come back to Local Falcon, we place that in here. It's displaying, if someone was in Liberty State Park and they were to Google business attorney, business lawyer, New York, our target keyword, it's going to depict where we would rank. So as an example, right now, someone Googles on their phone, they're standing here and they're looking for a business attorney. Where are we sitting? We're in position 16. That's what this does. It helps you analyze what is actually going on, because it's impossible, in all honesty, to try and do this via a desktop. With this system, you're able to analyze where you're ranking. Now, obviously, you can make it bigger, smaller, add more points. You can do whatever you want. I believe you get to have one free run with Local Falcon. But every tool I talk about, guys, like right here, you have Bright Local and Local Falcon. Two of the same tools, but that's where you can click on that link, go across and try out the tool. Everything you need is right here. So that's what I would be doing when you're analyzing your business. Now, when you're doing this with a law firm, like I said before, we would have many varied keywords. So we would do this for each keyword, okay? That's what's vitally important. When you are doing this, it takes a lot of work, guys. That's why SEO get paid the big bucks. So don't know as much as lawyers, obviously, but yeah. All right, here we are. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to have a look at a couple of things. All right. So exactly the same process, guys. Categories, law firm, one category. Solid, guys. Perfect. It's okay. So grid, you can type, if you want to type poor results, mediocre results, whatever you want to put in there. When you get all greens, stellar results, depending upon however you want to utilize that. One, and then just place this in here. Now you do want to match and see what they've got going on, your competitors, and you've got going on. That is vitally important to have a look at. So categories done. Now you can go through and tick all of this off if you find that it helps you. But average rating, total reviews, same thing as our competitors, guys. 42 and 5 stars. 5 and 42. There we go. Total post and post frequency. We'll come back to that, same as what we did with the competitors. Total images, let's check that out. So Plepper doesn't have us displaying any images. Now, again, guys, this is one thing that I have been noticing is even Plepper, this almighty tool put onto me by good mate, Chrissy Palmer, like absolute legend, put me onto this. So thank you, Chrissy. I give him a shout out every single time. It's awesome. But just because of these latest updates, and sometimes the business is not having any images, which these guys don't have from the looks of things, that's why it's not displaying it. But just as a side note, it's good that it caught it. But sometimes, guys, it can show images that aren't there. It's always your job and your responsibility to ensure that the tools are operating appropriately and giving you the correct and accurate information. That is your job as an SEO, and or if you're doing SEO for your law firm. But let's just say 0. Same thing with the Q&A. Let's come back up here. Sure, it's going to be nothing. Yep, 0. Okay, products and services. So same thing. Let's check out if they've got any products listed. Doesn't look like it, and I cannot see the services. So I'll send that across to my phone, guys, just to double check. You always want to double and triple check. Like, this is not a. The thing with SEO is you don't want to get it wrong because everything's so slow. It's not something that immediately reacts. It takes time. So you implement your strategy, you try to see what works, and then if you create something that's wrong, you build the campaign around that, then you can be in almighty trouble. Okay, so we have I'd say we have about 25 services, 0 products, 25 services. Now let me just double check on here. Doesn't look like that there's going to be any posts either. Okay. All right, so let's look at the post. Exactly the same process. Exactly the same process, guys. It's all you need to do. Post audit. Doesn't look like there's any posts. I'm not going to run it again, guys, if it says no. Yeah. A good way of double checking is on your phone. That way you can be quite confident that it's more accurate. So now what you do, so once you've audited your law firm competitors, you've looked at other legal practices, and you've gone, okay, these guys are ranking up the top. Always use the people up the top. Don't just grab someone randomly in the middle. That's going to throw out all of your statistics and your averages. You want to focus who's up the top. So ideally, the way you do this is you move through. So you look at the average rating. Okay, well, we've got 5. What's the average rating overall? Basically 5. Okay. What's the total number of reviews? What's the average there? 127. What do we have? 45. You know? But again, guys, this outlier here, it's important, and I understand statistically speaking, it's an outlier. It's not the norm. But this is why you go ahead and you audit. You have space for 5 competitors there. You can insert more rows if you want. Usually, depending upon the volume of keywords, target keywords that we're going after, determines what we're going to look at. If we're going to look at more keywords, more competitors. So total posts on average, again, pretty drastically different results here, guys. 15. The average though with images, you could say that's more accurate. 19. We have nothing. So just adding images alone could do something. Q&As. No. When it comes to the services, same thing, guys. Okay, we're doing all right. And that's what you want to look at. That's how you would analyze it, regardless of, you know, what keyword you're going after for any legal practice or any law firm. That's how you would figure out how to perform better on the maps, because this will get you there. If it's not the be all and end all, but if you go away and approach this in a sensible manner, I assure you that you will start to see solid results. So what we want to do from here, guys, is we want to identify the top ranking organic, so in the organic results, competitors. So let's go and have a look at those guys now. All right, so what we want to do is we can simply get rid of this first of all, because I don't like having additional tabs. But what we want to do now is we want to go across into the competitor tab. Okay, and we have this information down here. Now you want to look at the organic results page. So let me scroll back. It's hard grabbing things. This is just a little bit of an FYI. When whatever SEO you're doing, if you're doing any type of search engine optimization, this is just a little bit of an FYI. If you're grabbing directory styled listings, that can skew your data again. It's hard to go against something like this. It's hard to go against bigger things that are pushing out, like your super lawyers, all of those types of more so directory services, Justia, sorry. Like it's massive, guys. They're ranking off their authority alone. So to go against them, it's quite challenging. But the more relevant, the way you beat these types of sites is you need to be more relevant and more trustworthy. So that's what Google's looking to reward, okay? They're just ranking there because of their authority. So I just want to turn off keywords everywhere, slowing things down a little bit. But we don't want to have a look at them because that's going to skew our data. We want to scroll down to these guys here. So this looks like a legitimate law firm. And Romano Law, these guys as well. So we want to scroll down and we want to have a look at these guys. So it looks legitimate. Awesome. Cool. So now to analyze your competitors, you are going to need the SEO Quake bar. It's completely free, guys. It's a Chrome extension and you can just install it. The main thing that we want to look at is how many pages the site has, because we want to ascertain, do we need a big site to rank or not? Do we need to have a lot of pages supporting this? Do we need to be a huge site? Because that will help determine what you need to do in the future with your content. But when you see 46 index pages, there can be more pages, guys, but this is what's seen by Google. So there's 46 of them. So, well, sitting in number 2 is pretty good with a 46 page site. So what you want to do is you want to grab their domain. You want to remember 46. Come over to the competitor, domain, pages, 46. Now we want to grab their business name. So we just want to scroll down, small business attorney in USC. So these, this might be the individual law firm's name. Grab that, place that in there. Same thing with lawyer number 2. Now you can grab This is where it becomes a little bit more in depth, but you can either grab the root, so the main, basically the domains, just straight away to the domain, or you can grab the extension of that location page, because how they were ranking was with a location page for that, or a service-based page for that. You can either analyze that or you can analyze the root, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to analyze the root, so 823 pages. All right, let's grab their law. Let's just make sure that's their name. They're quite big, guys. So Romano Law. Yep. All right. Let's go back over here, place it in here. Okay, so as you can see, excuse me, there's the total pages. Now what we want to do is we want to grab the domains and analyze the competitors' domains, same as what we did initially with our domains. So we can either do this, or you can click off the actual page and go straight into SEMrush, depending upon if you've got SEMrush. So if you want to have a look at everything immediately, you can just click on traffic and poof, it'll take you straight to the domain overview. Okay, so they were hit back in the update. Yeah, they're whacked. Wow. Ouch. 8,000 keywords. That's good of it. Really. So they've got an authority score of 42, but again, guys, it's meh. Backlinks, main thing we want to keep an eye on is the backlinks and the referring domains, obviously, but backlinks and keywords, 8,880. So this is for Romano Law, 8,880, and it was 7,400 backlinks, I believe. On the top of my head, 7,200. Okay. Awesome. So this is how you do it. Citations, guys, over here just behind me, like everything's just behind me, but we'll get to that later on. Citations is a specific component of this checklist, so we'll do that later. We cover all of that together. Let's get rid of that. Now we go onto our small business. Same thing, you can hit traffic, or you can just copy the domain into SEMrush, whatever you want to do. It depends where you're at, guys. Like if you want a lawyer to do SEO, like you need a good tool. You will need SEMrush. Yeah, if you're not investing in your tools, especially in this game, yeah, it's vitally important that you do utilize the appropriate technology and tools to assist you in providing a better service for your client. So there's 1,500 keyword backlinks, and there's 1,279 keywords. So now that we've done that, we've looked at our competitors, we want to ensure that we've just got a basic overview, because we want to know what it takes. If we see 15,000 links, 15,000 links, 15,000 links for your top 3 competitors, well, maybe it's time to move on from that keyword and try and find something a little bit more long tail. So that's basically how all of that works when you're analyzing the competitors. So what we're going to do now is we're going to perform a actual keyword gap analysis. So a keyword gap analysis is essentially where we're looking at the keywords that our top competitors have that we don't have, or that we have shared, so we can maximize their effectiveness. All right, so when you're performing a keyword gap analysis, so we've got the tab down here, you'll see here's our keywords that we've identified for our domain, but now we want to identify the keywords that our competitors have that we could utilize and maximize and grow more keywords. We can utilize less mental power to try and find perhaps ideas for informative and supportive content and or even services. So that's why a keyword gap is super, super powerful. So what I want to do now is I want to grab one of our competitors. Now we scroll back. I just want to close, again, guys, you know me, closing my tabs. I don't want to have any interruptions for it. Now on the SEMrush profile, so you can see this right here, keyword gap, left-hand column, keyword gap. Now, all you need to do is ensure that you're here, your domain, the one you're targeting, you, and then you just paste in your competitors. Make sure you're in the US or whatever country you're in. If you're back home in Australia, enter Australia. All right, so this is what we have. As you can see, shared keywords, business lawyer, New York City. We're in position 89, that's us right here. This is going to be, I believe, the small. You can just hover over it here. Unfortunately, you can't open that up, which is really painful. But as you can see, this is the Romano, and then this is the small business. They're in position 4. You can see the volume. Volume is how many times that keyword's being searched a month. I'm sure you guys know that. And keyword difficulty. How hard is it to rank for that keyword? Okay, so this is really, really awesome. Now you can have untapped as well. So things that we're not even showing up for, all unique. There's 10,000 keywords in total. So you can really go through this data. You're able to utilize the information, the hard work that your competitor has gone and done for you. So researching for topics to talk about. You can just go out there and be like, oh, that's a cool piece of content. I'll write a better article, and I'll be able to go away and try and approach those people sending them links, get the webmasters to send you some cool stuff. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm only going to export 500 of them, because I'm not going to export 10,000 keywords for a demonstrational video. So let's do that. So I'm just going to export 500 of them. Now what you do, so when you're inputting the keywords, all you'll need to do is open up the CSV and just copy paste, and you just put this into the lawyer SEO checklist. Okay, so let's do that right now. Grab all of this, copy that, get rid of this one. Okay, and that's why, because some things get a little bit jittery when I try to paste in too much. There we go, thankfully. Sometimes it crashes on us. We don't like that. So you can filter it, we can beautify it up a little bit. All right, so this is where you can go through and you can start to ascertain where you're sitting, where they're sitting. As an example, business lawyer, we're not even showing up for that keyword. So this one right here, this row, these guys are in position 9 and these guys are in position 38 for that keyword. So quite a powerful keyword. And that's exactly how you can look at it. You can look at the search volume, keyword difficulty, cost per click, everything that we're looking at before, guys. Okay, so that's how you do the keyword gap. This is vitally important for content ideas, supporting content, creating anything around sprinkling in some additional keywords within the content. That's where a keyword gap becomes incredibly powerful. What we want to do now is we want to actually perform a backlink gap analysis. So let me show you how to do that. All right, guys, so exactly the same process. Just click on the tab here. There's a ton of tabs on this lawyer checklist. Click on this tab here, same thing, come up to the top. All right, now what we do, back over to SEMrush, and you can click, same thing, just below keyword gap, give them backlink gap. Exactly the same thing. However, what a backlink gap is that it will help you identify which backlinks you need to go after, because Google is becoming more focused on things that are semantically related and something that's commonly referred to as the link graph. Now, this is essentially links that are pointing to individuals like your competitors. As an example, right here, what we have. So as you can see, matches, 2 out of 3 websites have a link from Amazon. Okay, so they're probably building out some cloud stuff or something like that. Upcity. Now, what this means, so when you are doing backlink building and when you utilize a backlink gap for you at the law firm that you're working on, a couple of things to consider. See how these guys have 15 links from Upcity? Does that mean you need to go and get 15 backlinks from Upcity and they have 5? No, you don't. You need to get 1. It would be great if you can get more, but you need to get one. You need to focus on the referring domains more so than backlinks. So a referring domain is classified as just the one domain. This is classified as 15 backlinks. So, but if you were to say how many referring domains do they have from this, it's just the one. It's just the one. So you don't need to go out there and be concerned about building at least 5 links, probably 6 links from UpCity. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to get at least a link from UpCity. Wherever it's 2, you need to be trying to build those links. Now, as you can see, this is huge. There's a lot of them that we do not have. Very, very, very powerful to go away and build these actual links, guys, because when you're building these links, it's important to know that Google is thinking, okay, so whoever's receiving a link from in here can be classified as a business attorney, law firm, whatever word you're going after, whether it be a law firm or any other business. It's exactly the same principle. You want to be a part of this party. You want those websites linking to your website, not you being over here and not a part of this link graph over here. You need to try and get into that party. And that's what you're doing by building out these links. Now, if they are spammy links, get this question a lot. Do I build them if it'll even mean that I get into the link graph? 85% of my being says yes, do it. But send them to a page that you can afford to burn. So let's just say something goes wrong in the future. Let's just say Amazon, something goes really bad with that, and that link becomes really toxic. It's a really bad link. Delete that page that you received that link from. Point those more riskier links to a page that you can burn. And now you've done your keyword gap. You know that you can go away and create a piece of content that can be your supportive content that you receive links on. That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do lawyer SEO. So that's awesome. Now what we do is export it. Same thing, CSV. All right. So we just open this up again, guys. It's all the same. It's very similar principles, and it doesn't matter who you're approaching. I assure you, if you approach anyone with this idea, this tactic, this strategy, you will see good results. You will see good results. Is it going to get you ranking number 1? No, you will need to do a lot of different things, but it's a start. SEO is all about starting instead of sitting there. So let's go back over here. Same thing, guys, pasting it in. All right, so just beautify it up a little bit. And now all of the matches, that gets moved over here, guys. So matches 222, focus on the 2s. When you're doing your backlink building for the SEO campaign for the law firm, focus on the 2s. Then you can move down into the 1s, but it's probably more beneficial to actually go after things that are more relevant. And obviously the way this is laid out, the higher authority is more up the top. But as you can see, I personally think if your competitors have that link, and let's say, because you'll be looking at least 3, if all 3 of them have that link and the domain rating is 2, to me, it doesn't matter. I'll go build that link. I don't care about the domain rating then. I don't. I'll go and build the link because my 3 competitors have that link. Some people don't agree with that, but I do because I've seen it work. So I think that's a powerful way of doing it. I go after whatever's working. Remember, Google is showing you what works. That's the biggest thing. It's literally, here's your script. You just need to go away and essentially translate it into English. Google is saying, hey, this is what I'm rewarding. Go. Here's the information. You just need to put it all together. That's it. So when you are doing SEO, look at it through that picture. So let me just get rid of this so I can actually see all of my notes. So from here, guys, what you can do is once that's done, you can come back onto the home page. So click over here. Now, because I've been doing this for a long time, I pretty much know this off the top of my head, but you can go through and actually tick everything off. So we've ticked it all off. We looked at our competitors. We've reviewed the competitors. We've done the keyword gap. We've performed all of this information over here. We've done all of that. The next thing we want to do is we want to review our keywords on Google. So let's do that. So when you're reviewing your keywords on Google, you want to consider a couple of things. Unfortunately, we don't have it. We're not appearing for this keyword, but don't just rely on the tools. And I say this to everyone quite often, because the tools might say you're in position 30, but when you go over to Google, you're appearing in position 60. It's vitally important to see if the numbers are quite close together. If SEMrush says you're in 30, but Google says you're in position 31, that's okay, that's all right. But if they're saying things that are drastically apart, you need to check it out, because it's either the SERP that's not right, or it's your tools that are not right. So if you're not using SEMrush, if you're not, or even if you are, just double check it. I like to double check. Make sure that you set your browser to the location where you are Googling from, where individuals will be searching for. That's the best way of approaching it, and just double checking where they're located. So now that we've done that, what we want to do is we want to review the website's core web vitals. Let me show you how to do that. All right, guys, so the core web vitals is essentially a thing rolled out by Google because way back in 2018, they said, hey, if you have a slow website on a mobile device, we're going to penalize you. Now, all you need to do to access this tool, it's completely free, it's Google's tool, and it does crashes your browser quite often, just FYI, performance tool from Google does not perform. You can click on this link right here, Google Core Web Vital, click on it, and it'll open it up. Now, what you want to do is you want to test and see how well your website performs. Now, let me give you a couple of pointers while this test is running. Do you need to go away and redo your website and upgrade everything to ensure that it aligns and passes this test? No, unless your competitors are passing that test. Is it more beneficial to spend, as an example, on a small website, we charge $450 to make sure that your thing is flying along. Is it better to spend that $450 on content and backlinks or a core web vital? Content and backlinks. You only worry about your core web vital when things are starting to become real. Like, unfortunately, these guys are performing awfully. So I would definitely be working on their core web vitals. But let's just say their competitors are, they've got 14, their competitors are 24. You want to be better than. If you're here, if your competitor's here and you're here, you need to do everything you possibly can to get that advantage. If a website takes this long to load, like, that is insane. There's got to be a server error. Like, that's huge. 54 seconds? That can't be right. But to receive a score like this, guys, they need, like, first content paint, like, failing massively. So that's the thing. You need to consider when you are with your website, like, do you like waiting for a website to load on your phone? No one does. After 3 seconds, you're going to lose the majority of people. So that's something vitally important. Google's not going to reward something that's slow and has a high bounce rate. So when you are analyzing the core web vitals, if your competitors are drastically in front of you, you need to close that gap. If you're tight on a budget, if you don't know if it's better to do the core web vital or it's better to just spend on backlinks and content, it depends where you are. If you're nowhere to be seen like these guys, with results like this though, if it's this bad, I would be getting this updated, because I have seen just the core web vitals being completely cleaned up. It moves up in rankings because it's exactly what Google has said. I will penalize you for having a slow site. So that's why improving something like that. Now you can check the desktop as well. 20, yes. Wow. Okay. These guys really need work. If you're failing on the desktop, guys, yep, you need to have your core web vitals. You need to be passing on the core web vitals. Now I would like to check this maybe tomorrow, couple of hours time. Perhaps there's something wrong with the server. As you can see, good old Google crashing. Let me get out of this. Just FYI, guys, if you're using that, make sure that you have not all these tabs open like I do, because you might lose Google. But just an FYI, if you are doing that, just make sure that if you get really bad results, don't run away that day. Test it again the next day and check out your server log. Make sure that your server hasn't crashed or anything like that. So when it comes to the core web vitals, I would just be ensuring that I'm checking it again. If I have bad results, a day or two later, check the server. From there, make sure that you're analyzing your competitors, because if they're doing really well, then yes, no matter what, that's going to need to be done at some point in time. And it's better that you do it early when your website's smaller, then build out your website and have more to optimize. So that's something to consider when you are looking and analyzing the core web vitals test. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is analyze the schema. So let's do that. All right, guys, for those of you that don't know what schema is essentially search engine language. It explains to the search engine, hey, this is what this web page is about. Now, Google came out a month ago stating that they're only looking at the first 15 megabytes of a page to determine what that page is about. So I like Schema to give it that information on a silver platter. So what you can do is you can simply come back over to the checklist. We can tick off this information here that we've done. It's entirely up to you how do you operate that. But what you can do is over here, you will notice that it says Schema Validator. So just above my head, you can click on that link. Now this link will take you across straight into the Schema page. So let's grab the business and let's input the domain. Now there is law firm schema out there. There's a lot of different classes of schema that can go out there and be built. What I would be doing is I'd be analyzing my top competitors and then just mirroring what they have. Now, is schema vitally important against all other things? No, it's not, but you should at least know, let the search engines know that it's not just a web page, okay? You need to let them know what your website's about. So if you're an organization, if you're a dentist, whatever you are, if you're a law firm, you should be saying, hey, I'm a law firm. This is who I am. This is when I was created. That's where this stuff becomes very, very powerful. So what you want to do, analyze what your competitors have. Then ensure that you have very, very similar schema to what they have. That'll take care of a lot of things. And yes, schema can move you up the, it's not going to get you to number one, but it will move you along, and it will be the final coat of paint as you start to get more competitive. It's very easy to go from position 60 to position 20. Super easy. Couple of links, great content, a little bit of optimization, few internal links, done, happy days. But to go from position 6 to position 1, ooh, it's a lot harder. So anything that you can do, such as schema, that will help you win those battles. And that's vitally important. That's something that you need to consider. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to review the citations for these law firms. Let me show you how to do that. All right, so what are citations? Well, if you don't know what a citation is, think about it as a business listing like a Yelp, an Apple Maps, anything along those lines can be considered a business citation. So something where it has your name, your address, and your phone number, your NAP. So that's what a citation is. Now, why is it important to have citations? Because I'm not just teaching you to rank locally, rank organically. I'm teaching you how to rank locally as well. So with the maps, that's why citations are important here. And they build up trust and credibility. If Google can't see a Yelp listing for your business, that's a red flag. That's a big red flag. Why would they trust a business that doesn't have a Yelp, doesn't have an Apple Maps? They're not on Manta anywhere. If you look about it like that, even other individuals, maybe they want to see that you're a legitimate business. You should be found in those locations. So to perform the citations, let me show you a few ways of doing it. Now, the first way is the paid way, and it is quite expensive, to be completely honest. You have Bright Local, so this tool right here. Now, we use Bright Local to go away, and it does all the work for us. So we can just input the domain, the business, and away it goes. It'll figure out what exactly is the citation, what isn't, what's just a standard backlink. It basically pulls it all apart for us. It identifies if there's any discrepancies within the NAP, so the name, address, phone number. If it says, hey, you've got this phone number over here on Yelp, but you've got this one over here on Apple, red flags. So what that does is it's quite cool, but you have to pay for it. You do have to pay for that service. So if you do want to utilize Bright Local, and if you are working with a client or if you are serious about it, I would suggest it. Just click that link, off you go. But I'm going to show you the free way of doing it too. Now, it's not as accurate, but it's going to give you quite a good idea. So let's tick off the schema one, but let's go to this. This is known as a search operator. So you can simply come onto this right here, copy this. Let's go over to a browser. Let's paste it in here. Let's grab our domain. So let's go back here. Let's get rid of that, guys. Close that tab down so we don't get slowed down anymore. Paste in the domain there. Now this is why we grab the business name, guys, because we need the business name. You can try it with the address, but a lot of the time there will be other people listed at the same address, but chances are they don't have the same business name as you. So that's why I utilize the business name. Now, as you can see, here we go, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Super Lawyers is there, Twitter's there. So this is how you can actually go through and start to look and start to see what you have and what you don't have. Now, this is the free way, guys. So you have to go through and actually analyze all of this yourself. We can look here and go, okay, there's about 57 results. So you would put in total citations, 57. Now, guys, it might not be 57. It could be 20. That's what you would need to do, is actually go through and have a look at it that way if you're doing it with this free method that I'm showing you right now. However, if you're not going to utilize the free method and you're going to utilize the Bright Local, it'll give you the exact number, and it'll tell you if you want to ensure that all of your listings are correct, then you need to also go in there and ensure that the phone number lines up, that the address lines up, because you might have moved, you might have changed phone numbers, whatever it is. But that's the only downfall to the free method, is it takes time. Now let's go to our competitors and perform the exact same thing on their citations. So let's grab these guys. So as you can see, just get rid of that, place that in there, come back to the checklist, grab the name. And that's why the name is very important. That's why I was trying to get that earlier, guys. 50, there we go. Yelp listing, bang, there it is. All right, it could actually be because small business lawyers, yeah, it is. It's going to be a small business. So we've got this in the title, and this is the problem with the free listing, guys. So jump the gun a little bit there, Ronnie. But as you can see, these quotations up here signal that anything that's within them, we want to see that in the title. Now, on any of the pages, it will be in the title. So the problem there is that it's looking for those words specifically within a title, but they're within the title. Small Business Attorney NYC. Yeah, that's in here. That's here. So unfortunately, this is a problem with the free method, is you'll be like, okay, there's 50 results, but maybe there isn't 50 results. Maybe there isn't. So you need to go through and do the manual work yourself, and you need to ascertain how many there exactly is. So, you know, this looks like a, yeah, they've gone for an exact match. Like, that's crazy. Crazy that they set up their business like that. But yeah, that's how it is. That's what they've done. But as you can see, 50 for me, knowing that they're mixing in results here, it's very light. It's very, very light. But you can go down here and you can put total citations. So just behind me, guys. So you can put in 50 in here like that. And you can do the same thing with your competitor. Now, you would do that with Bright Local or with the free method. It's entirely up to you. What we want to do here from this point is you would want to ensure that you have Google Analytics and Google Search Console installed and operating. Beautiful, free, powerful tools that will give you a lot of insight. It will enable you to track conversions and actually monitor how your site is performing. Vitally important, you must have that stuff installed. All right, guys, so what we want to do now is we want to review the lawyer's user experience. We want to make sure that the page is actually functional. It's a nice, clean, easy way to navigate around and that I can easily contact them. So let's review that stuff right now. All right, so the reason you want to make sure that your website is clean cut, easy to operate, easy to get a hold of, because it's just easier. We all know when we go to a website and we're like, how do I contact them? What do I do? It's painful. Now, these guys are local. So the biggest red flag that I have and see, and I see it all the time with local businesses, guys. This is a New York law firm. It's a local business in my eyes. Where is the call button right here? Why is there no big, huge call button right there? Now, they're not getting a lot of traffic. I understand. I've had this, someone mention, it's like, well, I don't want to have a call button on my website because that means I have to hire another receptionist. And I get that. But they're obviously not at the level that that individual was at, because they're getting around about 29 visits a month. Could be more, could be a couple of hundred, but still, they wouldn't be converting all of those leads. So have a call button. If you have a call button, the likelihood that you will receive calls drastically goes up. Whenever you need to have I have to go to the contact page. All right, let's go to the contact page. We all know their website takes a long time to load. Still loading. And I'm on a desktop. Still loading. Okay, where's their number? Oh, it's up here in the top. I didn't see that. And I didn't see that. And that's the thing. Thankfully, it is a click to call. But it's like, okay. Most people will be still looking. Now I can't see that the call button's there. Like, yes, my browser thing's hiding it. But guys, like, this is my point. It's like, okay, well, where's your number? Fix that. First thing you do is fix that. There needs to be a call to action right here. Now, whether it be a lead form that they go off to or a call button, if you can field those calls, have that as a call button. That is vitally important. Like, things are taking so long to load on this site. These guys really need to clean that up. It's yeah. I don't know how I feel. Like, their practice area is business law. Let's have a look. So yeah, they've just got essentially all of this, guys, that needs to be made into pages, right? And they should have specific sections. So as an example, like real estate law, let's just use this as an example for you. If you were to do this, you should have this broken up like contact a real estate attorney now. Bang. Immigration law. Contact an immigration attorney now. Throw it in there because it's an immediate call to action. If someone lands on your site, they already really know what they want, especially if it's a service-based business. They know that, hey, I'm looking at getting an E2 visa, an E5, like me. What do I need to do? Do you know? I don't know the specifics, but I know that I want to contact an immigration attorney. So by denying me that opportunity to contact you, you're losing out on the lead. It's good that they have the videos here. Like, it is always nice seeing video reviews, but so they've done some PRs. Okay, yeah. They've done a little bit of PR. Yeah, it's good that they've got some reviews. It's good that they've placed I do like the contact form down here in the footer. I do think it's valuable for attorneys. I do like that they have made the connection between, but I don't actually believe that this is their it's not a link back to their Google business profile. So there's a loss there too, guys. That's something that I'll be and click here to pay now. Why am I paying? Are they using lawyer pay? Maybe they're using lawyer pay for this, but it's not really appropriate. Like, that should be a call button. Don't force people to pay something that's not. Yeah, it looks like lawyer pay. Could be lawyer pay. But yeah, that's something that I definitely would fix, is the fact that they need content. Every single area that they're operating in needs to be broken apart. They need service location pages as well. That would help boost up the locations that they're ranking for, but there's definitely a lot of work that needs to be done here. So, but the main thing for conversion optimization is they need more of those call to action buttons. That is something that I would specifically focus on for this law firm, is adding that and including that. All right, guys, so we're in the final stages now of lawyer SEO. What I want to do is I'm going to show you how to pick out some target keywords that you could go after if you own this business, own this law firm. So let me show you how to do that. All right, so what you need to do is you come back over to your lawyer SEO checklist, and this is where you can start to look at the keywords that you want to rank for. So as an example, it's good that we're ranking for these. You would require supportive content, and that's what you can start to look at. So as an example, I think this is the main thing that they're going after. Obviously, like all of those other things, immigration, it's good that they're doing that, but they need more. Like we saw their competitors, we saw what they have. They need more. They need more content. They're going to need more links. They need more structure in their site. So let's focus on the startup lawyer. Now, they're not doing too well, but too poorly for this, okay? They're in the final stages. So if I was looking to build this up, what I would do is I'd utilize some supportive content. Now, depending upon whether you have a budget or not, this is where it can be great to utilize supportive content to help boost this up with internal links, or attract more external links in because you create an interesting and informative piece of content. So what I would be doing is I would actually be going over to my keyword gap, and this is where I'd be scrolling across. Now remember, guys, I only exported 500 words. There was 10,000 in total. But what you can do is you can come over here and you can go filter by value, conditions. Here we go. Text contains. And let's do startup. So I want to look for anything with the words startup that my competitors have. Okay, so it's only startup lawyer. But you get the gist. Unfortunately, I can't show you right now. I probably can if we go back to the keyword. This is the only problem with exporting 500 keywords, is I can't actually show you. And it's dropped the information. Marvelous. Absolutely splendid. All right, let me do this for you because I want to show you how to do this properly. I want to give you the examples. I'm sure you understand, like you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm positive of that. But I want to show you how you would go about actually utilizing and identifying the appropriate target keywords to perform lawyer SEO. And this is, guys, this is why we use a checklist. Look at that. Tool failed us. Happens all the time. The tool failed us. But thankfully, we have our own checklist. And we have all of the information there, so we don't need SEMrush to work all the time, because it doesn't. All of the tools don't work all the time. So now what you can do is you can simply come in and you can start to analyze and really look for something that you want to go after. So up here, I'm just entering, I'll type in startup. Let's have a look. Let's see what our competitors have. Okay, so startup lawyer, startup attorney, nothing, no real informational, but what we can do is go into Untapped. So this is where it's looking at perhaps different variations. New company startup checklist. Bang. There it is. There's a nice piece of content that we can create to support our content, to support. All right, I like that. I really like that. What's it got? 30. It's not many. Like, we're not ranking at all for it. It's kind of difficult to go after. 30. I like it. I think it's really cool. Now you can come back into the target keywords and you can place that in there. We can go 30 and zilch. We're not appearing for that. But what this is it can actually help the keyword that we already have. So as an example, we want to get these on the first page. So what I would be doing is creating a piece of content around that checklist. Our competitor has just given us an idea. It's not what you need to use, but I'm just showing you how you can utilize the keyword gap and you can start to ID the target keywords that you would want to go after. But that's a great piece of content. And that's exactly what you should be offering to a startup. Hey, you're looking at creating a business. Okay, well, this is a checklist that you could utilize and go away with. And they'll feel very confident in that. But not only can you do that to boost up your authority, you can actually do that to win them over. Because if they go and look at that blog post that you create, then hey, this law firm knows what they're talking about. These attorneys are across it. I want to work with them. That's exactly what you can do. Now, you also get to use that piece of content to link and internally link to these keywords, the content where these keywords are. That is how you build on your target keywords when you're doing lawyer SEO. Now, the final stage is putting everything together, guys. So I'm going to show you how to tie off to complete this exercise of lawyer SEO, because I want to make sure that when you go away from this, you know how to do SEO for lawyers and SEO for law firms. All right, so here we are at the final steps. We've done the target keywords. We focused on the keywords that we want to look at. But what we have for you in this lawyer SEO checklist is this SEO strategy tab. Now, this is where you can start to input all of the information that you need to know, that you need to go, okay, month one, I need to do this. So as an example for these guys, in month one, I would be focusing definitely the Google profile, the Google business profile was adequate. It was not great, definitely needs some work, but it was okay. So we need to upload some images. We need to upload some stuff there. So I would be, and you can go as much detail as you want. This is a huge thing. Put it wherever you want. I just like sort of breaking it up. Google Business Profile is where I'd start. I would also work on the Core Web Vitals because these guys were doing really bad. If they failed the test again that poorly, it needs, and we're on the website and we saw how slow it is. So that needs work. And site structure. Site structure needs work, guys. Like it needs to be more appropriately aligned with the intent and the mission and vision that they have for their company. Like, it's great. It's like, yes, we do all of this, but there's no point in, like, it's very overwhelming. And again, if I ever land here for intellectual property, perhaps, okay, now what do? Do you have like the way they're setting up their business? It's important to remember the individual that is on your website. The way they've set up their business makes it look like that it's quite a large firm, right? Now, obviously, like, I have a couple of friends that are attorneys, and you know, it's quite a niche-y type game. You guys don't vary too much. Like, to have real estate and immigration law, they're drastically different attorneys. So if you're going to speak to individuals, you do want to have it maybe set up a little bit more tailored, where it would be speak to an immigration attorney. Like I said, CTA here. Main thing is I'll be working on the site structure and speed and the call to action conversion optimization, because they really don't have that. Now, that's what I would be doing month one. That'd be month one, obviously, and there's a couple of $1,000s worth of work right there. Month two, I would be looking at the content that needs to be created around the website to go after the target keywords that we've got. So the startup would be, I want to get them winning there, because if they win there, one, they're going to start to see that I can get them results. They're already almost there. It's going to be challenging. Like I said, it's easy to get something and go from 60 to 30. That's super easy. But going from, 11, 13 where they were up to position 1, it's so hard. But we can get them on page 1 with the appropriate content, internal links, and a couple external links. Not a couple, it would require a fair few. My estimations, just knowing that keyword would require a bit of work. So that's why it'd be a month 2 campaign. And then I would just continuously build on that. So whenever you're doing lawyer SEO, you want to make sure that you're building out the overall picture of what you're going after. So if we were to go after, like, these guys have a lot of services, but I would focus on one thing to begin with. As an example, the startup attorney. I would build all of that out. I would get a lot of those keywords ranking, and then we'd move on to the real estate. That is how I would focus it. So I really hope that I've answered the question of lawyer SEO, how to do lawyer SEO, how to do lawyer SEO for law firms, guys. If I have, make sure you hit that like button. Grab this checklist, completely free. Happy to give this lawyer SEO checklist away. Hit me up if you have any questions. More than happy to help. Love making this kind of content, guys. So yeah, if you have any questions, if you're a law firm and you want to work with me, I'd love to chat with you. Reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email. You'll be able to find it somewhere. Google Osborne Digital Marketing. I'll pop up for sure. Have a lovely day, guys. Cheers.